Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 390 of 5-Star Potential, your weekly Football Manager podcast. I'm Doop, and I'm joined by Mr. Mad FM this week. How are you, Mad? You okay?
I'm good. I think I'm going to be worse by the end of this podcast, but right now I'm good. I'm clicking onto that.
Fantastic. No, that's good to know, Mad. If you had a nice week, Mad. You've not had Newcastle's game yet, so football hasn't happened for you.
I'll tell you what, the weekend results, so we're recording this on Sunday, the weekend results so far have been very much in Newcastle's favour. So bar Aston Villa winning, Man City drew, Chelsea drew, so I'm quite happy with that. We've got 2 games in hand now. If we win both, we could go fourth outright, which it has the potential to be one hell of a season, and it's in our hands. We're not overly reliant on other things. But some big games coming up, so let's see. Don't want to get too far ahead of myself just yet. We won the League Cup final. We hadn't won in 70 years. We can't have it all.
I think you would be happy with just winning the League Cup final, right? Like, regardless of where you finish for the rest of the season now. Surely, that's got to be enough for you as a Newcastle fan.
Some people feel like that. I don't, for a couple of reasons, but one in particular. I don't think there's ever going to be such an opportunity for one of these teams, one of these 4, 5, 6, 7 place teams. It's so open. Obviously, Man United have had a really poor season. Spurs have had a shit season. City are not doing what they usually do. Chelsea are all over the place. Forest are up there and now looking like favourites to go in as the 3rd Champions League team. These opportunities don't come along too often. The last time we qualified for the Champions League, Liverpool had a terrible season. So it's there for the taking. We've got Isak on form. We want to keep these players at the club. We want to be able to sign big names. We've got over a lot of PSR issues. So fuck it. You got to take your chances.
Well, happy days, mate. We drew the derby. It was quite a drab draw. Yeah, wasn't great.
Not bad. Anyway, I mean, in fairness, for how bad the season has gone, you probably would have taken that. Maybe going.
It's got to be one of the least quality derbies I've seen in a long time. Even when we were bad, they were bad. I don't think we've been bad together. I don't think we've ever been as bad as we. And to be fair, the first game at their place was terrible until the 80th minute. It was shocking. So that's probably fair. The Community Shield, I was there, went to penalties. It was quite a drab game, to be honest. The last good derby was the FA Cup final, which I was present to, and I thoroughly enjoyed. So
I think as well, I heard that there's this small chance that Man City might not finish in the top 4 or 5, right? And apparently that would be the first time in Premier League history that no Manchester team would be in the top 4 or Champions League or something like that. That would be wild.
Yeah, probably. I can't think. No, when Guardiola and Mourinho took over, weren't they both out of it then?
Oh, I don't know. Out of the top 4.
I'll have to have a look at that.
I've clearly not researched it.
No, you haven't. You've heard it somewhere. I don't talk shite probably.
Who the fuck knows?
Anyway. Not only are we back podding, we are also back playing FM24. And if in case you missed it, myself and Mad have started a brand new network save in Italy, with me taking the helm at Lazio and Mad taking the helm at Roma. I don't want to give too much spoilers away. He hasn't been sacked yet, which is fantastic. Also, if you didn't catch it this week, we did our first stream live on Thursday. We'll be live twice again this week. So check out our VODs over on Twitch to catch up. And of course, we'll be recapping all of the main events every week here on the pod. The 5-Star Potential Twitter will tweet out when me and Matt are both live, and you'll be able to watch both perspectives. You'll be able to watch one of us lose our shit and one of us not so much. So also, we did play each other in this latest stream. So we'll get to that in a second. But Mad, tell us kind of how Roma has been going, because they do say Rome wasn't built in a day. And you've only had a day on this save. So what have you built at Roma in a day? I mean, that's a long way around of going about it, but we'll get there. We'll get there in the end.
It's not quite the Roman Empire just yet, for me at Roma anyway. When we first loaded up the save, we were having a chat about the squads, and as we both went through, and we went through kind of position by position as well, didn't we? I think that was in the pod.
Yeah.
I felt like I had the stronger team here,
Yes.
which
100%.
may be just a drop of flavor for what we'll come to shortly. Um, but I kind of realized that certain areas were quite strong, like centre backs. We have 3 very good centre backs. Centre midfield were fairly well stacked. Like in centre back, for example, I went with a back four, so I had a choice of 2 centre backs between Gianluca Mancini, Mats Hummels, and Evan and Dika. I went with the first two, which was fine. They're both quite good. Hummels is still very strong in game and a really high value as well for a free transfer. And then in like centre mid, choices were again going for 3 midfielders in the middle. I had Brian Cristante as a DM there. Got Lorenzo Pellegrini. You've got the other Pellegrini, right? Luca Pellegrini at
Yep.
Lazio, I
Lucas.
think.
Yeah, he's here.
And also got Manu Kone in there, and also Leandro Paredes, who's a World Cup winner, as we know, with Argentina. So like plenty of choice in those central areas. Up front is interesting. Like we've got Artem Dovbyk, who's pretty good in game because he had such a good season in La Liga or last season for Girona. So he was signed by Roma. He, like when we took over, I think I mentioned this to you, Doop, when we were live. He had only scored 5 goals, and we started to save in March. So like, it's not a whole lot of goals, but at the same time, he'd only played like 12 times, so I think he picked up an injury. So not exactly setting the world alight. When you kind of don't have him firing, as I quickly learned, I don't know where the goals are coming from, which I know is a problem that you were worried about. Paulo Dybala's in here, age 30. Good attributes, hasn't played well for me yet. In the how many games do we get through? 4 or 5. He just hasn't really played well. I was playing him on the right. FM says he should be played as an AMC or in a 10 kind of a role. He is left-footed, so I was having him as an inside forward on the right, drifting in. So it's just something to think about because he's not that quick. And then on the other side, I tried Salamakers, who we like in FM because he's so versatile, hasn't kind of hit the ground running too quickly in the save. Matthias Sule went out injured very early on, if you remember as well, and he had scored in my opening game, and then he was out for like 6 weeks. So I haven't even got a chance to do anything with him. So like
Is
in terms of then,
sorry, is
yeah,
Salamakers due to stay at the end of the season?
that is a good question. So he's
Because
on
I'm
loan
going to be
from
honest with you,
Milan, as we know.
I am going to jump the gun a little bit, and I will just tell you a little secret. He is very high on my list to try and purchase in the summer.
Plot twist.
So I
And he's
wondered
only
whether,
24.
yeah. I mean,
I'm
so
looking
he's
at
been around for
his
so long.
I'm looking at his details now for contract and there's no
Okay, well, that's good.
clause, there's no nothing. So he would be due to go back to Roma unless I was to negotiate something, of course. Now that I
Yeah,
know that you like him.
yeah.
But
Well,
the
that
problem
might
is then, so
be.
you're looking at go
I
ahead,
was
yeah.
going to say that might be a little bit of a bluff. Because what you don't realize as well is as listeners at home is Mad's talking about he hasn't really got a decent striker. Kind of at the end of the year, Tammy Abrahams, 26 years of age, comes back off loan. So he's got a fantastic striker coming back into the team. He's also got a young chap called Enzo Lafi, who is at Sunderland, who has
Sunderland,
the
yeah.
prospects to be a very well worked midfield. He's midfielder. His attributes are very good. I don't know how much you've looked into him, but he looks like
Mm.
a decent little player. You go down some of the list of the players you've got coming back. I think you're going to be relatively happy with some of them. Hermerson's the other one as well, right? Bayer Leverkusen, 28, good left
Yeah,
back, centre
there is
back.
even like you've got Marash Kumbula, there is an Albanian defender. I've always liked him in FM.
Yeah.
There's some big values here. Like I've got Nikola Zalewski, he's the
Oh,
Polish
I like
left
him too. He would be
it's an
great on
inter.
my left hand
So
side.
no, look, there is great players to come back in the summer, and at the very least, there's some good value to come back in the summer in terms of price. So
Yeah.
like if I'm making sales and stuff, but just right now, as I said, it's Dybala, it's Salamakers, Sule, Dovbyk, and then it's El Shaarawy, who just has this eternal football career. I feel like he's just always been around, but never really been that good. So, look, I have a lot to do with the squad. I think I have a lot to do with figuring out tactics and roles. I may need to consider playing a number 10 to get the most out of somebody like Pellegrini. I've got a young fella on the bench who I really like called Tommaso Baldanzi. I'm sure a lot of listeners will have heard of him. He's only 21. He's got a lot of room to improve and develop over time as well. So I'm not making excuses. I actually do like the squad. You know, you got Seki Celik there and Angelino right and left back. Again, not bad. I've got a very good goalkeeper as well in Miles Filar, who's the Serbian guy, only 24. So I think there's loads of potential here. We just kind of have to weather the storm, which has already started. If anyone was tuned into the stream last Thursday.
I mean, I think looking at your squad, there's definitely more positives than negatives to take away from it, right? Like you got to be happy
I mean,
with the
the
way
other
your
result.
squad is.
Yeah, the squad wise, I'm happy. And to be fair, so we started off. We beat Lecce 2-0 away from home. We beat Juventus. Now they did go down to 10 men early doors, but we did beat Juventus 1-0 at home. Drew against Fenerbahce 0-0 in the Europa League. But you remember we had a bit of a glitch, and I ended up just watching the game almost like from the stands.
Yeah, that was very
I couldn't make any
strange.
changes, so we don't really know what happened there. And then another game that I'm just not ready to talk about yet, so we'll have to move over to you, I think. But as it stands, so when we took over, I think you were sixth and I was seventh.
Yeah.
In the league. So, and there was only a point between us. It's still fairly close. And as it stands now, I'll just say it now. I'm currently sixth in the league. But it's very tight when you look at the points in this league, which is why we took over.
And not
it's tight.
yeah, absolutely. And it's not only tight going forward; it's also tight behind as well. Like all the way down to kind of ninth. You know, where it's only a few points in it. There's 6 points between ninth and fourth. So it's the top three is pretty much settled. Like it's going to be those three, Inter, Napoli, and Atalanta. But kind of the middle bit is really to play for. So it's really interesting. I've had a bit of fun. I've also had a couple of batterings as well, Matt. Like it's not been as straightforward as I would have liked it. I kind of evaluated my squad in the last stream. Didn't really like it. Went for a flat back four with two DMs because that's kind of all I really had. And then I had kind of like a midfield attack three with two wingers and then a striker. And I didn't really like any of my strikers, I'll be honest with you. I got Pedro's 106, whose attributes are pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, like his attributes are very good for his age, but like still didn't really kind of fancy him a huge amount. We started our kind of time against Torino. Pedro scored the first goal of our reign, and we actually beat Torino 4-1. And I kind of come out of that game thinking, like, what am I worried about? Like this is gonna be a really interesting save. It's gonna be really fun, really easy. We'll just tick along. We got the Coppa Italia semi-final. We played Milan. We did lose 2-1, but Madge, I think you come and watched it. It was quite a open battle. We really did play really well. Probably could have won it in a certain couple of occasions. We had some good chances. But we also had a player sent off right at the end, mind, not kind of not before we had already lost the game, but it was still, a bit of a kick in the teeth. And I thought, okay, well, how else could we play this? It's fine. That was away from home. We'll get them on the second leg, and then we played Atalanta and got beat 5-0. They were 4-0 up after 40. They were 3-0 up after 33 minutes, 4-0 up after 41 minutes, 5-0 up after 53 minutes. And I looked at it and I just swapped to a back five, and I was just like, right, let's just. They didn't even play. I think their XG was like nothing as well. Like they had an XG of 1.79 at the end of the game, and they scored 5. My keeper played a 5.7. My centre backs played a 5.9. And everybody else, Rob McNally got a 6.6. Everybody else got below that. So I just thought, you know what? I'm going to switch to a 5 at the back system, match what Atalanta was doing to us, and just kind of hope that we can try and just stop what was coming our way. And it kind of worked in the second half. Yes, we conceded 1, but after that, they kind of stepped off the gas and we kind of just coasted through it. We're also in the Europa Conference League, and I mean, I say the Europa Conference League. It's some tough teams here. We've got Porto at the moment. We drew our first game 0-0. But Real Betis is here. Frankfurt is still here. Bologna is still here as well. So there's some tough teams in that. So it's not as easy as a conference league should be, in my opinion. But we actually didn't qualify out of the Europa League, so we then dropped down because we're on the old schedule of the Europa League. Whereas Mad is actually still in the Europa League, so that's going to be good for him if he can win that. He gets his Champions League spot. Whereas obviously I don't have that on offer. And then after the Porto game, which was sandwiched between the away leg as well, we faced Mad. Mad, what's the derby called?
It is the Derby Della Capitale.
And then translation to that is battering, is it? Or is it like one-sided or?
I don't speak Italian at all. Arrivederci.
Okay. I'm gonna probably just talk about it on my side because it's probably better, right? Like in all honesty,
it really isn't.
No, I mean I'm modest. I'm gonna open up and say that I beat Mad 5-1.
Is it too late to make this a solo pod with just Doop's thoughts?
But I'll be open and honest with you, Mad.
Oh fuck!
During the game, I didn't think we played that well. And Mad was like, "Yeah, but we played awful," and I was like, "Yeah, but I don't think we played that well." And then I actually went back and watched the game in stream, so I watched Mad's perspective of what he was watching. I was going, "Actually, no, we looked pretty good." And I think 5-1 was probably a little bit soft, in my opinion, watching the game back. We had 21 shots, 10 of them were on target.
It should have been 5-0. I don't even know how I scored.
Well, yes, it should have definitely been 5-0, but I think it could have been 7-8-9. Like it could have got very, very embarrassing, in my opinion, like with the way the game went. And it was just all about balance. We had our 5 at the back, with 2 DMs dropped, plus a 10 and then 2 strikers. And Pedro just seemed to be on one in that game. We had a couple of lucky bounces, but very much I would say that we were well within our rights to win that game. We created 3 clear-cut chances. We basically beat Mad in every single statistic apart from possession. Mad had more of the ball. But we had some really good standout players that just seemed to pick up the slack. And our number 10, I can't pronounce his name. It's like Zaganini or something like that. Or Zaccanini, is it? Zaccagni? Yeah, I've not really come across this guy before. He has played all over Italy, to be fair, all through the ranks in Serie B and below. But he's been at Lazio for a few seasons now, and his attributes are very good. He's got very good high dribbling, high flair, and he's got a really good burst of pace, and he just seemed to run the show in the middle. He did get a goal, don't get me wrong, and it was a very nice goal. But there was one where he did a really nice turn on the edge of the box, and kind of he did go wide, but he just looked like he wanted to win the game, which sounds really strange in a Football Manager game, but like he just seemed to like pick the game up by the scruff of his neck. Pedro got man of the match because he scored 2. The next one was him that kind of got an 8.3, and I think like all in all, it was. I mean, we scored within 5 minutes, so it kind of put the pressure on Mad straight away. And I think your goal made it 2-1. Was that correct? So like it shook me up a little bit, and I kind of thought, oh, he's going to get back into this. But it kind of got to the stage where it just seemed to run out a little bit comfortable, and you didn't really have a huge amount of answers. Is that a fair kind of synopsis of the game? Like, have I been a bit harsh there, a bit underwhelming, or is that kind of fair? I don't want to kind of slag you off. I'm not slagging you off. I'm just saying I think we kind of very comfortably beat you.
As you know, I'm currently studying trying to get into the journalism game, really focusing on, getting my terminology right, my analytics, having the right football head. So the technical term, Doop, would be we were absolute dog shit. We were like, as I watched it unfold, it was just like we would get the ball and just kind of be like, here you go. Angelino got the ball, like 2 or 3 different highlights on the left.
Yeah.
Kind of have a little wander, no pass, and then just get dispossessed and then goal. Dybala was something similar, just like hovering with the ball. But again, I mean, this we've all been in this situation where you're just a little bit powerless. We went when we went down very early. Like I could see you were dominating the highlights. I could see it just wasn't working. So I flipped the tactic very quickly, put three at the back instead of trying use those wings backs. That went very well. Um, None of it worked. I don't think any player
What?
actually played well.
What? No. One thing I will say, as a collective, your team as a collective, the pressing was very good. It put us under. At times, we did beat the press quite well. But that's down to the fact we had high tempo, short passing. But I did think that like one thing I took away was that you had, when you look down your running stats as well, you did a lot of running. Your team did, and I thought that was a positive to take from the game because
I mean,
a high press
yeah,
like that can win a game anyway, right? I
it
think you just come up
can,
against a
but
guy that was just a team that was just fancied it, and we were at home. I know we share a home, but we were the home team.
you were a bit more ruthless. I think you were definitely more clinical. But as I said, it doesn't work if we're going to give the ball away because
So,
the press works when the other team has the ball, especially in your own half. But if we're
yeah,
going to then hand it to you in our half, we were just inviting trouble. And again, I didn't know the squad out. I mean, it's so early days. It's our fourth game, so I was like, not that I'm any good at Football Manager, but I also didn't really know what to do differently. So you're still kind of figuring
yeah,
out
no,
like what's
absolutely.
going on. But it was a humiliation. Like fair play to you, Lazio. As I said, I thought we had the stronger squad. I went into a positive mentality, quite an aggressive tactic. Didn't wasn't overly fearing. Didn't expect 37-year-old Pedro to score twice. I think. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, humbled a little bit of humble pie for me after that. Not back to the drawing board though, because as I said, we had some good results prior to that game. Um, but bragging rights are definitely on your side for the network save and for Rome and the Roman Empire. Jeez.
Yeah, I think it was quite nice that we managed to get a game in before the end of the season. I do
Mhm.
think it's like and I'll be honest with you, like I very much before the game, and you might have thought it was in jest, but it wasn't in jest. I very much said to Mad, like, I'm not really I'm not going to take a lot from the game. It is what it is. We like Mad says, we don't know the squads. We don't really have a tight grip on it. We don't fully understand kind of our best team and the system that we're going to want to play and all this stuff. So, like I said, we are only 4 games into this, but I do feel that it was, it's one of those games that could have gone. I think like we could have both just scraped away with a 0-0 draw and not learnt a lot from there. But I think you've learnt more about your team than I've learnt about my team, if that makes sense. And I've beat you. If that like I think like you I think if we would have kind of the way that you've been going in the season so far, if we would have just kind of have a 0-0, 1-1, or I beat you 1-0 with a penalty or something like that, I don't think you would have been as harsh and as critical on your team as you are going to be now in the summer. And I think it's going to make you make decisions that I don't think you would have made if we didn't have that performance and that result. Because I mean,
Yeah,
you were
I think
shitting on
so. I
them
think
all at
it's
the
made
end.
me. Yeah, definitely. It's made me less confident, which might be a good thing because I was thinking, yeah, we're in pretty good shape here. But now I look back, Juventus went down to 10 men on 19 minutes and we beat them 1-0 at home.
Mm.
So,
Yep.
yeah, we dominated the game, but we didn't score much chances. I think I'm going to have to figure out something with Paulo Dybala because on paper, he's our best player. He has the attributes that I need to make them work in game, even if it's really early, even just for the rest of the season. We'll talk about league finishes and what we're hoping to kind of get done because, as you said, we started in March, no transfer window. We're just starting with an IRL database, and then we're going to hit the summer. So we need to have a good league finish because money, like we talked about, this prize money in Serie A is pretty bad when it comes to league finishes.
Yeah.
So every little counts, and Europe is going to be huge in terms of attracting players and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we need to. I need to figure out something fairly quick before the next stream. I might need to stay on after this podcast and have a look at Football Manager for a while.
I can leave the database open for you if you want. I
Yeah,
think
I haven't looked at it since.
I think we're gonna be one thing that I think we're gonna be shopping in the same baskets, if that makes sense. I think we're gonna be kind of having the same by the looks of the budgets. What's your kind of projection for next year? So At the moment, I've got 12 million to spend, but it's saying I'm going to have about 20 million to spend.
Does your 20, is that the next season's minimum guaranteed? Is that what you mean?
Oh, sorry, 27.85. Yeah, no, it's in projections. It tells you your end of the season.
Oh, sorry. So I've got 10 million in my transfer budget now.
Yeah.
And my projection, I'm just looking for it here.
I mean,
Transfer budget
because
is it says for the end of the 24-25 season, it says 47.
okay, so you've got some money coming.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
And I got
you've
some
got a
big
lot more
players
than
coming
me,
back.
because that's not. I can just put that in there really early. So you've got a lot more money coming than me. So I've got to work a bit harder with my money, right?
It would appear that way. I would ask you because I think I'm going to have quite a few players that I can sell for some good money, assuming we get takers. I wonder, are you in a similar situation? Do you have much assets that you
No,
could make some money in?
no.
That could be a difference as well.
Yeah, I don't. I don't have much. I don't have much at all. I've never been in a team that I have only got one player that's wanted, and that one player that's wanted is not a lot.
Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna be working very much with what we've got. We've got to be very clever with it. We've got a few of our loans are turning into permanents, and the one is Arjun Ibrahimovic from Bayern Munich, who is very
Yes.
highly rated, very good looking kind of attribute set on him. And I have an optional fee of 7.75 million for him if I want to take that up. That's
That's decent,
concerning.
really.
It's decent, but when it's about 50% of what you've got coming in, it's a
Yeah.
bit it's
It
gonna
ain't
make things a
much.
little bit tricky. But we'll find a way. We'll find a way. We always do. And if we can try and kind of get Saudi to come in and potentially look to kind of sell a player to fund what we need. Because the number 10 that I've played, he kind of valued at about 50 million, and that's probably my only asset. The issue is his attribute set. Are we finding somebody for 50 million that's going to tick off his attribute set?
Mm.
Probably not. Like you look at Guendouzi, he's only 24 years of age on here. He is very highly rated in my squad. 16 determination, 16 stamina, 16 technique, 16 tackling, 16 work rate. He's valued at 20 million. You're not going to get a 20 million. I'm just looking through the shortlist now, and like the closest player I can find is like 30, 35 million. Like if you kind of compare
Mm.
players to what we've got. So I'm hoping to be able to kind of maybe get a little bit of extra money, like not extra money, but like extra luck in what we have to try and do in this transfer window. And obviously we are playing with an updated database, so everybody that is decent, that we know is decent, is gone elsewhere already.
Yeah, it's not the same as it was. And as it stands, so after because the last game we played at the end of the stream was you beating me 5-1, and now we never
Yeah, I
speak
thought it was
again.
quite a nice time to just to walk away from it, man.
Thank God. When we finished there, with 32 games played, so we've 6 games left in the league. You were in 4th place on 57 points, and I was in 6th place on 55. So there's only 2 points between us.
However,
There's not much difference with like if you look at because obviously in FM you can see what each position gives you in terms of the league finish, the prize money.
yes.
There's very little in between it. So if you finish 4th, you get obviously a Champions League spot, which would be huge, especially for Lazio. I don't remember the last time Lazio were in the Champions League. You would
Oh,
get what
okay.
says here in euros 10.6 million euros. Like that is very low. I would get 7.7. So it's not hugely different. Obviously, being in the Champions League is much different. And every time you win a game, as we know, you'll probably get about 2 or 3 million anyway.
Yeah.
But the prize money is crap in Syria. It really is.
Yeah. It is bad. It is bad. The money's not great, but you just gotta be clever with it. And we just gotta work with it. And we gotta see what we can do and be clever with the selling on. We haven't had our youth intakes yet. That could always kind of change the kind of the scope of what we're looking at. I I've kind of spent a little bit of time whilst chatting now, looking through my youth. I have one centre back. It's 5'7". It's pretty decent, but he's 5'7", which means one thing and one thing only, Mad. He won't play for me.
No, you definitely don't like that. Who's the
I
top
like.
player that, like, you know, when you're if you were looking at your player search and if you go to like
Yes.
slightly interested in a
Yes.
transfer, who's the highest? I suppose highest value, but sometimes you need to check reputation if their value is like not for sale. But like, who's the highest valued player on that list for you?
Rasmus Højlund.
Okay, I've got him as well. He's top of my list as well. Only 144
Yeah.
million euros.
Yeah, apparently. Unai Simon.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Are
See,
you in
you're in the mood.
Euros?
I'm in euros probably because of the way my game is set up from my last.
Yeah. So what I'm getting at is you just said you're going to get 47 million, but that's euros.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Are you
actually,
in
it's probably
pounds?
it's less, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
So the gap is
In
not.
pounds
I'm
it'll be
giving you a bit of credit here. The gap's not as big as everybody as we've just first made out.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
indeed.
There you go. See? When they say that, I'm horrible to you. So
You're very nice to be, all things considered. If you hadn't beaten me 5-1, I don't think you'd be half as fucking nice. But anyway,
I mean,
we'll get
mate,
my
I could have been
revenge.
a lot worse. I think I was actually. I mean, apart from laughing at in your face, I think I was very gracious in winning.
I will tell the listeners that he did text me then, like the following day or two after on WhatsApp, and he just wrote 5-1 with a big laughing face.
And then I went,
So,
"Do you have your VODs on? Just because I want to watch your side of the game again."
Oh no!
Yeah.
Look,
No,
as
actually, it
in
wasn't.
keeping with the
It
theme,
wasn't. No. Hang
go
on.
ahead.
Give me some fucking credit here. I wrote 5-1 with a faced plant emoji, kind of hand in the face. I've just watched it back. We weren't that good.
Yeah, but that's more insulting than saying we were class. And you fucking know it. Like,
I don't think
all
we
I'm
were.
going to say here.
I don't think we were great. I think we were all right. I don't think we were great.
All I'm going to say
I mean, we
here,
were better than
right?
you.
All I have left to say, in keeping with the theme of the save in Rome, a quote from
Yeah.
Gladiator: "I will have my vengeance in this life or the next."
Okay. Well, in the next might be the next that might be the next save when you get relegated. Not relegated,
Oh
sacked.
dear, sacked in the
Oh
morning.
dearie me. Okay, super. So, what is? I mean, where do you think you're going to finish? I guess let's have a little prediction because by the next time we have a pod, I'm hoping if we've got 2 streams in, the season should be done.
So we spoke about the end of season running, and mine is considerably difficult. So right now,
Oh,
as I said, just so listeners are aware, so I'm just going to call out the league table really quickly for where we are. So I'm 6th on 55. Behind me are Bologna on 54, and then a small gap to AC Milan on 51. Not too bad. Then ahead of me are Juventus on 56. That's 1 point ahead. Doop, Lazio on 57. Then there's a 10-point gap to Atalanta. So really, we're playing for 4th, 5th, and 6th, the two of us, along with Juventus and Bologna, and maybe AC Milan and Fiorentina, but they have a bit of ground to catch up on. That said, I have in my 6 games remaining. So I've got never mind the Europa League because I do have to play the second leg against Fenerbahce. I've Hellas Verona at home, so hopefully should be 3 points. Then I've got Inter away, Fiorentina at home, Atalanta, who obviously gave you a good hammering. I've got them away. I've got AC Milan at home, which could be a 6-pointer by then, depending on results. And then Torino away to finish. So in my last 6 games, I've got Inter, Fiorentina, Atalanta, and Milan, and they're all in the top 7. So I have concerns about that. I would be happy to get Europa League, which would be, a 6th place finish or even a 5th place finish. I would probably take 6th if you offer to me now.
I think, and what's the run look like in the Europa League?
So I have to play Fenerbahce, and then I do know I have to have a look at the other results that happened. Man United lost to RB Leipzig 2-0 away, which is a surprise, I suppose. Hoffenheim beat Tottenham 3-1 in Germany as well. So maybe both of those go out, which would be nice. And then Real Sociedad beat Galatasaray 2-1 away, and we drew 0-0 in my fixture with Fenerbahce. So
Okay.
Potentially, we're looking at Leipzig, Hoffenheim, and Sociedad, and Roma in semi-final. That's workable. I could work with that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think you should be all right. But I
Famous
think,
last
look,
words.
yeah, that's the other thing, right? It's going to be tough. For me, I've got, like I said, I got a bit of a nicer run in. I think I play a lot of the bottom. Yeah, yes, I play Juve, and yes, I play Inter. I play Lecce, Empoli, Parma, and Genoa. So, and they're all kind of bottom half of the table. So I think kind of if I can get a result at home to Juve, or and kind of just sack off the one against Inter. Maybe, hopefully, we can do something. I have the potential of turning around the Coppa Italia semi-final at home. Like I said, it was 2-1 away, so kind of there's only a 1-goal deficit in that. And obviously with Porto and 0-0, there's a chance that we could, so it might actually be that, yeah, we on paper we've only got a few games left, but actually it could be quite a few because if we're both in the cups and stuff, it should be quite exciting.
Should we just go out of the cups? No, we can't do that.
I tried to do that, and then I thought, oh no, actually, because after getting battered by Atalanta, I was like, well, I'm not even going to try in the league now. I'm just going to concentrate solely on winning Europa League, and then I played mad and beat him. If you don't know, I beat
I
mad.
mean, Champions League is really very realistic for you, so that's I'd be going socks for that, especially with the money situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I need to now because I have no other way of getting Champions League. You have 2 round remits that you could go with. I literally just have the one, so I need to fully focus on that league to get it. So yeah, hopefully.
We should. I mean, quite likely. We're just talking about the next stream. If it's not Tuesday of this week, it could be Wednesday, something like that. But as we said, we're going to confirm with the 5-Star Pod account on X, Twitter. So make sure everyone's following. But it's quite possible we'll finish the season already in that X stream, which would be interesting. So we'll
Yeah,
definitely know more about the next podcast.
I would say definitely by the next pod we should be in the next season, or at least pre-season. I kind of don't know how we're going to tackle pre-season, to be perfectly honest, because it is going to be quite slow. And especially with the kind of the limited funds we're going to have, it's going to be quite difficult for both of us to kind of make that interesting. So it might be that we
Should we
do a bit
create
on the
our own
stream.
window? Should we make our own window and say, right, within this 2 weeks we have to sign everyone we need to sign, and then we're gone.
Why make it harder for yourself when you're struggling already?
True, this is true. I just lost 5-1. I don't know why the hell I do this to myself.
But it might be that we say, like, Mad, look, I'm about tonight, but I can't stream, so should we just sit and then maybe we can live tweet who we've signed and stuff, and just kind of, because it's difficult. It's difficult to kind of say, right, for the next two streams we're going to just be signing players, but we'll see. We're going to need help from people in the chat and kind of build our little empires against each other, and we'll see. Okay,
shout
I
out to
think
everyone
that's
who joined us, Doop. We had quite a good bunch in both the streams.
we did,
as well,
yeah.
so shout out to everyone.
Yeah, we had a few. Absolutely, we had a few that enjoyed it on my side. I don't know if you had anyone that actually enjoyed it your side.
Oh God, no, I didn't even enjoy it.
I actually think I need to get a little whiteboard just here. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're not watching on YouTube, we are on YouTube. And I can just have a little 1-0 or 5-1. Actually, a 1-0. We don't need to do a collective. We don't need to do aggregate score.
Let's get a transfer window into us, and then we'll see who's laughing.
No, absolutely. But I've got to be up for it now because obviously I have given Mad in history. I have given Mad a lot of stick about Football Manager, and he went into that game, the team in form, the better team, the better squad, and I beat him. So I 100% have the bragging rights at the moment.
For now.
I also
Vengeance.
I also have the control of the quiz tonight.
Oh shit! I'm going to be losing 2 for 2 this week. Oh.
So Mad, as you did something quite challenging for me, I currently have 4 names in front of me of Irish players that have played in Serie A. I'm going to give you a clue because some of them are pretty tough, but you'll get some of them. And if you
I
get it
can
in
have a
record
go
time,
first, I think.
yeah, and if you get it in record time, I have a little backup one as well. So fire away. 4 Irish players that have played in Serie A.
Robbie Keane.
Yes, he played
Inter
for
Milan.
Inter Milan between 2000 and 2001.
I don't know how far back this goes, but Liam Brady did. Do you have Liam
He
Brady?
did. He played in Juve, Sampdoria, and Inter between 1980 and 1987. That's 2. That's the easy 2.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be the case.
The
Shit.
the one thing that you do
Um,
have as a little bit of a buffer is they have both played in Italy in the last year and a half. So they are recent.
so I think one is Kevin Zeffi.
He is not on my list.
Shit. Okay. In the last year or two is when they've played. Okay.
Yep.
There's a couple of lads there. There's a couple of lads at Como. Kerrigan. I don't think he's played first team yet. So maybe not him. Who is the guy? There's another guy I'm thinking of. Siobhan Lerfinen was there at AC Milan, but he didn't play for the first team either. Oh, yes, of course. So Festi Ebusele has to be one for Udinese.
Yes. Yes. He went on loan to Watford, bought in that kind of like naughty way that Watford have been doing
Yeah.
things.
I think there's a second one now. Did he? Yeah, because it doesn't matter. I don't think he's played for Ireland yet. But James Abankwah,
No,
is it?
he's fantastic, man. I'm very, very impressed.
Yes.
Yes. Well Googled. That is the 4. James is currently on loan at Watford. But he also
Yes.
is parent club is Udinese. He has made 9 under 21 appearances for Republic of Ireland, but he hasn't made a first kind of a full national.
He was
Festi
in
has. He's played 7
yeah.
times.
Abankwah was called up to the last squad there when we played. Oh my god, I can't even remember who we played recently. We played and we won. So he was called up, but he didn't go on. Bulgaria.
Okay.
That's where we played.
Fantastic. Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm actually very impressed, man, because I thought you wouldn't get them.
Redemption.
So I do take my hat off to you there. Okay, so we do have a little bonus one. Okay, English players. Okay, all right. So obviously, big fan of England, aren't you, Matt?
Yep,
You love
always.
everything of English. But you're also the manager of Roma, aren't you? So there's 4
For the time
players.
being.
There's 4 players who are English that have played for Roma. Could you tell me them, please?
Christopher Smalling is one.
Correct. Between the years of 2019 and 2024, Chris Smalling played for Roma and actually did very well over there. Very highly rated over there. He's currently sunning it up in Saudi Arabia.
Then we had Tammy, whatever Tammy's full name is, Abraham is one.
Tammy's full name is Kevin.
That makes sense.
I'm not going to say the rest, but he's better known as Tammy Abraham. Yes, Tammy has played, is currently at Roma as a parent club, but also on loan at Milan. He went over in 2021.
Okay. Shit.
We have 2 left.
Are they anyway recent or are we going back? Because it'll help my
Okay,
mindset.
I'm going to give you clues. So I'll give you the clue for the most recent one. He played at Roma between the years 2021 and 2022. There was an FM Football Manager content creator that struggles to say his name.
Oh my gosh. It's Tom FM's one. What's the guy's name again? I don't know.
Yes, Tom FM is his name.
Oh my god, I'm totally blanking on his name. I'm stuck
Do you want
thinking
some
of Jeffrey in Adelaide, but that's the other guy. It's the other guy.
Do you
the
want
other
some
Arsenal,
chicken
ex-Arsenal.
tonight? His first name is shares with a very popular TV chef, and Tom FM called his first part of his double barrel name the same as a UK value store, clothes store.
Oh my god! Why can't I think of his name? He's like very versatile player, ex fucking
Yes.
Arsenal.
Yes,
I'm
he
totally
started at
blanking on his
Arsenal.
name.
He's currently at Lyon. He went on
I
loan
know.
to Roma and played 8 games.
Oh my god, it's on the tip. I could hear Tom saying it.
I know, and I don't really want to tell you because it's quite funny watching you struggle.
Oh my god, I'm totally having a meltdown here. What?
Okay, I'm going to have to tell you because
I'm stuck with this Jeffrey and Adelaide chief in my mind, and it's not him, but they came through Arsenal at the same time, I think.
Yep. Would you like another clue?
Just give me his first name so I can say it the way Tom. Ainsley Matalon Niels.
Yes, it's Ainsley Matalon Niels. Ainsley.
My god, I totally blanked that.
Yeah, so that was quite. I mean, that's just a nice one. But the last one is probably the most famous for a photograph for his time during at Roma.
Photograph.
He played
how far back?
In 2014 to 2015. He also came through at Arsenal, spent a little bit of time at Palace. He also went to another London club before going to Roma for 2 seasons, playing 11 games.
Arsenal, Palace, and Fulham, is that what you said? Or you didn't
It's
say
not
that.
Fulham. No, another London club, because if I give you this one, you're going to know. He has a nickname with the Arsenal fans because he took a lot of money and went to Chelsea. Quite widely well known.
Oh, Ashley Cole.
Ashley Cole, yes. Probably the best left back to have graced.
Roma.
So there is a squad photo at Roma where everybody is all kind of huddled.
Oh, and he's just
stood. Yeah, they're all kind of cuddled up, is what I was trying to say. Not huddled. I was huddled and cuddled, and I said hubbled. And he is just kind of on the edge like this. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's quite funny. So there you go, Matt. That's the 4 Englishmen that have played for Roma. So you've done very well. I'm actually... Yeah, no, I'll be honest with you, I'm very impressed with the Irish knowledge, so I will give you that. But, Matt, that does close our time together, and that does also bring episode 390 to a close for this week. It's so good to be back. Also, it's so good when you've won. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. You can find the links for each of us by the podcast description or by visiting 5starpotential.com. But where you can find all of our latest Football Manager content over on our Twitch channels as well, which they will be linked in the description. Did you know 5-Star Potential is also available on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and most other popular podcast apps and platforms with a new podcast released every single week. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you all next week. Say goodbye, Matt.
Vengeance will be had. Goodbye.
Ciao for now.